श्री सच्चिदानंद सद्गुरु साईनाथ महाराज की जय।
Nobody knew his parents, his place of birth, or his religion. Who is Sai Baba of Shirdi and where did he come from? There are several accounts and theories about the birth and early years of Sai of Shirdi. We rely primarily on two texts. The Sri Sai Satcharitra describes Sai Baba as an avatar of Dattatreya, the first spiritual teacher.
Any incarnation of the God comes with certain purpose and certain goals. As far as Baba is concerned, to know about his origin, we have to go back in the history about 13th or 14th century, where Sripad Sri Vallabh, the second incarnation of Lord Dattatreya, he himself clearly told that in future I am going to come again in human form in central part of India, in Dhishila Nagari. That time Shirdi was named as Dhishila Nagari. And in that Dhishila Nagari, I will come in a human form in Yavana Rupa, means as an Islamic disciple.
The book declares that Sainath's incarnation will be one in which Lord Dattatreya will manifest as Samartha Sadguru, the all-knowing teacher. He lived among us in a mosque he called Dwarka Mai, after the ancient kingdom of Lord Krishna. Embracing the masjid as Dwaraka and as Mai or Mother, Baba opens her doors to all. Through a glimpse of his ways, his manner of helping, healing and teaching, we try to understand this extraordinary spiritual figure. Why did Sai manifest in Shirdi?
शिरडी सजाचे लागतील पाया टळती अपाय सर्व त्याचे।
आम्हा सर्व साई भक्तांना हे जाणून घेण्याची खरंच जिज्ञासा काही भक्तांच्या मनामध्ये निर्माण होणं साहजिक आहे की बाबांनी शिर्डी हेच आपलं निवासस्थान किंवा कायमस्वरूपी राहण्यासाठी का हे गाव निवडलं, त्या गावाचं असं काय वैशिष्ट्य आहे? 1320 ते 1350 या काळामध्ये एक ग्रंथ लिहिला गेलाय, पवित्र ग्रंथ, जे श्रीपाद श्री वल्लभ यांचं चरितामृत आहे. शंकर भट नावाच्या कानडी ब्राह्मणाने लिहिले आणि ते त्यांच्या बरोबर सतत असायचे. या ग्रंथाने ते लिहिलेलं आहे. त्यामध्ये स्पष्ट उल्लेख आहे, पुढे मी मध्य भारतामध्ये दिशिला नगरीमध्ये यवनाच्या रूपात प्रकट होणार आहे आणि प्रकट होणार आहे म्हणाले, जन्म घेणार आहे नाही, आणि तिथे माझं नाव साई बाबा असणार आहे. दुसरा एक उल्लेख असा आहे शिर्डीच्या बाबतीत. शिर्डीच्या आजूबाजूचा जो परिसराचे उल्लेख फार पुराणापासून भेटतात. जे देवदानवांचं जे समुद्र मंथन झालं, तो समुद्र जो होता तो त्या राहुरीनी आजूबाजूच्या परिसरातच होता. त्या समुद्र मंथनामध्ये जे हलाहल मिळालं, ते हलाहल भगवान शंकराने जे
स्प्राशन केलं तर त्यांचं पूर्ण शरीर काळं निळं पडलं, त्यांना वृद्धत्व आलं आणि त्यांनी वृद्धेश्वर या ठिकाणी तिथे त्यांचं स्थान आहे गर्भागिरी पर्वताच्या कुसामध्ये. नवनाथांचा जो कथासार आहे त्यामध्ये याचे उल्लेख आहेत. मच्छिंद्रनाथ, खाली काणिपनाथ, जालिंदरनाथ, अडबंगनाथ, हे सगळी नाथ सगळ्या त्या गर्भागिरी पर्वताच्या त्या कुशीमध्ये हे सगळे नाथ तिथे वसलेले आहेत. हे सुद्धा शिर्डीच्या अतिशय जवळ आहे. बाबांचं लाडकं बाळकृष्ण विश्वनाथ देव, ज्यांनी श्री साई सच्चरिताची अवतरणिका लिहिली, त्यांनी शिर्डी गावचा बराचसा असा सखोल अभ्यास केलेला आहे आणि त्यांनी त्यांच्या अभ्यासांती काही निष्कर्ष काढलेत आणि त्या निष्कर्षामध्ये हे लिहिलेलं आहे की द्वारका नगरीचं जे परिसर होता त्यांचे जे 4 प्रवेशद्वार होते त्यातलं एक प्रवेशद्वार होतं पंढरपूर आणि दुसरं प्रवेशद्वार होतं शिर्डी. शिर्डीचं महत्व वाढलं. बाबा तिथे क्षेत्र संन्यासी म्हणून आले आणि त्या पावन भूमीला पवित्र करून एक मंगल अशा तीर्थक्षेत्रामध्ये त्याचं जे रूपांतर झालं. त्यामुळे आज आपण शिर्डी द्वारावती द्वारका हरीची, साई हरीची ही शिर्डी आहे म्हणून बाबा तिथे येऊन बसलेले आहेत.
From what he wore, how he lay down at night, his manner of cooking, the mystical ways he interacted with devotees, healed and touched, and his mystical, love-filled glances were extraordinary. His every action was deeply mystical and divine. Let us try to grasp a fragment of the infinite. Baba donned the headcloth and kafni or long flowing robe of the wandering fakir or renunciate after he lost a wrestling bout to one Mohiuddin Bhai. But why would Sai need to lose a wrestling bout to don the kafni? Baba tells us that our lives are a wrestling bout with our egos and with our senses. It is no easy bout. Those like Babaji Ratnaparke, who have seen Baba tie the graceful knot of his headcloth, report that he tied it so swiftly that no one could tell how.
माझ्या समाधीची पायरी चढेल, दुःख हे हरेल सर्व त्याचे.
He soon discarded the renunciate's orange or green colors and wore only white kafnis. White is the color used to cover the dead, one who is immune or dead to the senses, to ego consciousness, and to attachments. Unlike a renunciate, Baba does not need to exert any effort to conquer the senses. Sainath is master of self, free of all desires, a perpetual and perfect celibate. Fakir Sai would wear the kafni even if it was torn and ragged. Devotees would coax him to change, but Baba would say, Allah befriends the poor. Detachment and surrender of ego and of all material possessions is fundamental to all faiths to attain spiritual progress. At night, Baba, Tatya and Malsapati would lie down in Dwarka Mai with their feet meeting at an access point in the center. This could be the axis mundi, the meeting point of the celestial pole and the geographic pole, where communication through prayers reach higher realms and blessings pour to the lower realms. Baba once asked Nana Sahib Nimonkar to go with him as he went to have a bath.
एके दिवशी बाबांनी नानासाहेब निमोणकरांना, जे बाबांचे ज्येष्ठ आणि श्रेष्ठ भक्त होते, त्यांना आपल्याबरोबर लेंडी बागेत यायला सांगितलं. ते जेव्हा त्यांच्याबरोबर गेले तर त्यावेळेस त्यांनी सांगितलं, मी आता आंघोळ करणार आहे तिथे, तर तेव्हा तू माझी ती कपनी धुवून वाळून स्वच्छ ठेव. तर त्यावेळेस लेंडीबागेच्या बाजूला एक छोटीशी पत्र्याची शेड होती, त्याच्यामध्ये एक चौरस असा मोठा दगड होता. त्या दगडावर बाबा आंघोळ करत असत आणि नानासाहेब निमोणकर बाहेर उभे राहिले होते. बऱ्याच वेळेपर्यंत बाबांचा त्यांनी कपनी दिली, परंतु बऱ्याच वेळेपर्यंत बाबांनी त्यांना काही आदेश न दिल्यामुळे त्यांची जिज्ञासा म्हणजे थोडीशी वाढली आणि त्या जिज्ञासेपोटी त्यांनी आतमध्ये त्या पत्र्याच्या आतमध्ये त्याच्यातून छिद्रातून डोकावून पाहिलं त्यावेळेस बाबांच्या देहातून प्रचंड प्रमाणात असे सूर्याची किरणं, सोनेरी किरणं अशी बाहेर पडत होती आणि त्या किरणाची प्रखरता एवढी तीव्र होती, किरणाची त्या जे बाबांच्या देहातून निघणाऱ्या किरणाची तीव्रता एवढी तीव्र होती की त्यांना वाटलं की क्षणभर आपण आपल्या डोळ्यात बधीर होऊन आंधळे होतील की काय. म्हणून त्यांनी ताबडतोब तिकडे दुर्लक्ष केलं आणि बाहेर येऊन उभे राहिले. आणि त्यावेळेस त्यांना हे सुद्धा वाटलं की आता आपली काही बाबापासून तर काहीच लपत नाही, आपण हे लपून छपून जे पाहिलेलं आहे बाबांना हे बाबांच्या नजरेतून काही सुटणार नाही. पण त्यांनी त्यावेळेस आतमधून बाबांचा आवाज आला, कपणी धुवायला घे म्हणून. रामन निमोणकरांनी ती कपडी धुतली आणि दोन्ही हाताने अशी वर घेतली आणि त्यावेळेस क्षणार्धात एक लीला झाली. हळूहळू ती कपणी एवढी जड 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 व्हायला लागली की त्यांना ती फोल्ड करायला, त्यांना ती धरायला जड जायला लागली. आता काय करायचं, बाबांचा दावा तर करता येत नाही कारण बाबांनीच ही लीला त्यांनी आरंभ केलेली आहे हे त्यांना कळलं. तेव्हा बऱ्याच काळापासून नानासाहेब निमोणकरांची एक इच्छा होती की त्यांना हनुमंत प्रभूचं दर्शन व्हावं, काहीतरी म्हणजे त्यांना साक्षात्कार व्हावा. तर त्यावेळेस प्रत्यक्षात हनुमंत प्रभूचं दर्शन बाबांनी तिथे त्यांना दाखवलं म्हणजे बाहेर, आणि त्यांना त्यांची जी इच्छा होती ती इच्छा, त्यांची मनाची इच्छा जी होती ती बाबांनी पूर्ण केली. आणि मग आतमधून आवाज आला, काय रे म्हाताऱ्या, झाली का तुझी इच्छा पूर्ण. आणि मग त्यावेळेस तो जो आवाज होता आतून, तो आवाज ऐकल्याबरोबर नानासाहेब निमोणकरांना एवढं प्रसन्न वाटलं तर त्यांनी ताबडतोब, आणि दुसरं हे झालं की त्यांनी जी वाळत घेतलेली हातात ठेवलेली जी बाबांची कपणी होती ती वाळत तर होतीच, हळूहळू ती हलकी व्हायला लागली. आणि अशा रीतीने ही जी लीला आहे ही लीला स्वतः नानासाहेब निमोणकरांनी आपल्या आयुष्यामध्ये अनुभवलेली आहे.
For all his external appearances to hide his divinity, how like a great and compassionate God and King he was.
जरी हे शरीर गेलो मी टाकून, तरी मी धावेन भक्तासाठी.
Baba attached great importance to the chanting of God's name. The poet saints of the Bhakti movement equally stressed on Nam Smaran. This is used as a purifying practice, so that the heart may be cleared of all but God. Shama, Baba's devotee, who had given up his job and had fully surrendered to him as Guru and God, chanted Baba's name even in deep sleep. Jai Sai Maharaj, Jai Sai Maharaj. Facing south, with his left hand resting on the wooden railing, Baba would spend hours in front of Dhuni Mai in meditative contemplation. He always uttered Allah Malik. The Dhuni is all-powerful, and Baba asks us to feed our 6 internal enemies to the Dhuni. The power of Baba's Dhuni and Udi is experienced even today. Udi has a strong spiritual significance. Baba shows us that our lives are transient, nothing is permanent, and all of us are reduced to ashes in the end. But Udi has material benefits as well. Mrs. Nevaskar kept Udi in the food vessels and faith in her heart. There was sufficient food to serve an impossible number of unexpected guests. Udi confers health, prosperity, freedom from anxiety, cures insomnia and bad dreams. Books and blogs can't keep up even as they recall the benefits experienced by those who apply and consume Udi with faith in their Guru Sai Nath.
नवसा समाधी पावेल समाधी, धरा दृढ बुद्धी माझ्या ठाई.
He became well known for his powers as Hakim, a medical healer, herbalist or Vaidyaraj. Leprosy was cured, the blind regained sight, and the lame walked. No one could comprehend the extent of his extraordinary greatness. He charged no fees and restored health to many. Baba prescribed an infusion of dry fruits in sugared milk to cure Butti's cholera and groundnuts to cure Kaka Mahajani's diarrhea. Amir's arthritis was cured when he resided in the cold and damp Chowri. Baba commands the snake poison to descend when Shama was bitten by a snake. And Chandorkar's stomachache disappeared when he ate barfi with ghee. Clearly, these remedies would be disastrous normally. The real medicine that cured was Baba's grace and the faith of his devotees. Often, a blessing would be all that Baba employed to cure an illness, as with Alandi Swami's earache. Sometimes, he would recommend a certain kind of ritual or simple act. Balaganpat Shimpi was cured of malaria when he gave a black dog some morsels of rice mixed with curds in front of the Lakshmi temple. Bhimaji Patil was seriously ill with advanced tuberculosis. Filled with mercy, Baba cured him through 2 dreams.
हाजी अब्दुल बाबा जब पहले मर्तबा शिरडी में आए, उस वक्त बाबा ने उनको मेरा काला कौवा आया इस तरह उनको संबोध कर उनका स्वागत किया। उसके बाद अब्दुल बाबा अपनी खिदमत कंटिन्यू रखे। बाबा के ज़माने का एक किस्सा मैं आपको सुनाता हूँ जो साई सच्चरित्र के 34वें अध्याय के अंदर है। डॉक्टर पिल्ले एक बाबा के बहुत करीबी भक्त थे। उनके पैर को नारू हो गया था। नारू से असह्य वेदना से वो बहुत परेशान थे, यहाँ तक कि सुसाइड करने के लिए भी उन्होंने सोच लिया। तो उनके एक मित्र ने बाबा के पास इसके बारे में जिक्र किया, तो बाबा ने उनको कहा कि उनको द्वारका माई मस्जिद में लेके आओ और उनको जो पट्टी बांधा है वो खोल दो, नहीं तो वो मर जाएगा। तो उनके मित्र डॉक्टर पिल्ले को द्वारका माई में लेके आए। लेके आने के बाद उनको बाबा ने बोला कि आप द्वारका माई में यहाँ बैठिए, काला कौवा आएगा, चोंच मारेगा और आपका नारू का बीमारी हमेशा के लिए ख़त्म हो जाएगा। तो उसी मुताबिक अब्दुल बाबा उस वक्त वहाँ दिया बत्ती की साफ सफाई करते थे और उनका ध्यान भटक गया और उनका पैर अचानक डॉक्टर पिल्ले साहब के पैर पे गिर गया और जो नारू का जो जर्म्स था वो पूरा बाहर निकल गया। उस वक्त डॉक्टर पिल्ले बहुत ज़ोर से चिल्लाए, असह्य और ज़्यादा वेदना बढ़ गए, लेकिन उसी कुछ पल में उनको बहुत सुकून मिला, बहुत आराम मिला। तो उन्होंने बाबा को पूछा कि भाई आपने कहा था काला कौवा आएगा, टोच मारेगा, तो कौवा अभी कब आएगा? तो बाबा ने कहा कि अब कौवा नहीं आएगा, अब्दुल वही जो था जो कौवा, उसने ये आपका बीमारी का टोच लगा के निकाला।
Nana Sahib Chandorkar was suffering with a boil, and a tile from the roof fell on his boil and it burst open. When Nana went for Baba's darshan, he said he burst the boil with his hands. Sometimes Baba would not intervene, saying the fakir does not permit or the fakir does not want.
नित्यमे जीवंता जाना है ची सत्य नित्य घ्या प्रचेत अनुभवे।
मैं चांद पटेल का पड़पोता हूँ। साई बाबा मेरे दादाजी को यहाँ मिले।
Chand Patil, who was a wealthy Muslim gent, was among the first to witness Baba's powers. Baba pointed him out to his long-lost mare, and Chand Patil knew Baba was no ordinary fakir. When they sat down to smoke chillam, Baba struck the ground with his satka to produce water. He then struck the earth to pick up hot coal to light the chillam, and he wet the chapi with the water. Baba's chillam was magical and his satka was powerful. Those who were offered puffs from the chillam by Baba were very lucky. Balram Durandar was a devotee of Baba. He was not a smoker, but when Baba offered him his chillam, he gladly took some puffs. The asthma he had suffered with for 6 years vanished. Once while smoking, Baba had a racking cough, but he continued to smoke and cough. Moreshwar Pradhan timidly asked Baba if it hurt. Baba chuckled and offered him a puff. Thick, sweet, fragrant nectar dripped from the chillam. Moreshwar Pradhan tasted it and was in spiritual ecstasy. Everyone partook of the nectar, and Baba looked at heaven, saying, Allah Malik, Allah Malik. Like his chillam, Baba's satka too was powerful. When Baba wielded the satka, people were awestruck. His satka guarded devotees against the elements and more. One day at noon, the fire in the dhuni began to burn brightly. Its flames were seen to be reaching the rafters above. Baba took up his satka and dashed it against a pillar, saying, "Get down, be calm." The dhuni became calm. Baba started the practice of accepting dakshina from around 1908. Baba does not demand dakshina from everyone or on the basis of their wealth. He is specific on the amount he asks for and returns the balance or refuses to take any more. Baba takes dakshina to enable the giver to balance karma or to repay an old debt, to teach a valuable spiritual lesson, or as a pledge for future gain, or even to comfort us that he has heard us. The giving of dakshina advances vairagya or detachment, and devotion and wisdom then dawns. When Baba demands exorbitant sums of money repeatedly from a devotee, what is he trying to inculcate in the giver? Wealth and physical attractions are difficult obstacles in the spiritual path. Baba provided 2 institutions for learning self-control in Shirdi, one being the giving of dakshina and the other Radha Krishna Mai's house. Baba was the creator of the universe and he created Mai as his Maya. He made her ethereally beautiful, and Mai taught devotees Madhura Bhakti, the sweet devotion that the gopis had for Krishna. In a deeply mystical experience, Vaman Patel saw a vision of a body wrapped in a green shroud. Baba said, "This fakir has killed Radha Krishna Mai." It was with Baba's permission that Mai left her physical body. Baba never transacted in this world. Money meant nothing to him. He received tens of thousands each day, and each night had but a few coins in his pocket to fuel the dhuni or to light the lamps or buy tobacco for his chillam. He put the dakshina he collected to good use. Pandits, acrobats, dancing girls, kirtankars, wrestlers, musicians all flocked to Baba's darbar just as they would to a king's court. Baba showered funds on them. He also enabled the repair and restoration of old temples of Shirdi. He took care of those who lived only to serve him. Tatya Patil, Yasin Mia Fakir or Bade Baba, Ramachandra Patil, Lakshmi Bai, Baba himself retained nothing. And yet, from his pocket, he could take out exorbitant sums of money. He is not bound by time, space, and other limitations. He is nirguna and saguna, formless and with form.
बाबा ज्या घरात भिक्षा मागायला येत होते त्या घरात मी सून म्हणून आलेली आहे. ह्या घरात जन्मलेली मुलं आहेत ती ठीक आहे, वंशपरंपरागत आहेत, पण आम्ही सुना, आमच्यावर बाबांचे विशेष आशीर्वाद आहेत असं मला वाटतं, कारण आम्ही परक्या गावातून या गावात सून म्हणून आलेलो आहोत. बाबांच्या जवळ आले, बाबांनी विशेष आशीर्वाद आमच्यावर केलेले आहेत म्हणून त्यांनी त्यांच्या पंखाखाली आम्हाला घेतलेला आहे. या गोष्टीचा मला खूप खूप अभिमान वाटतोय.
बाबाकडे गेल्यानंतर तो मनुष्य ऑटोमॅटिक ज्ञानी होतो आणि त्याच्यामध्ये बदल होतो. हा साई दर्शनानेच बदल होतो. हा बाबाजवळ गेल्याशिवाय समजणार नाही. याच्यासाठी आपल्याला बाबांचं दर्शनच घ्यावं लागेल, बाबाजवळ जावं लागेल, बाबावर विश्वास ठेवावा लागेल. मी साईवर विश्वास ठेवलेला आहे, त्यामुळे मला आता भीती वाटत नाही. मी विचारही करत नाही. जे काही घडतं ते बाबांच्याच कृपेने घडतं.
बाबांचे प्रथम सेवेकरी चा मान असलेले भागोजी शिंदे यांची मी नातसून. ह्या घराण्यामध्ये सून म्हणून आल्याचा मला फार मोठा अभिमान वाटतो आणि मी माझं परम सौभाग्य समजते की अशा घराण्यामध्ये बाबांनी मला स्थान दिलं आणि त्यांची सेवा करण्याची संधी दिली. माझ्या लग्न होण्यामागे सुद्धा एक बाबांचाच आशीर्वाद आहे. त्यांनी आईच्या स्वप्नात जाऊन सांगितलं होतं की या घरामध्ये तुझी मुलगी दे, तिचं कल्याण होईल. आणि खरंच इथं येऊन माझा जन्म सार्थकी लागल्यासारखं मला वाटत असतं.
When Sai Baba visited Baba Sahib Dengle, the locked double doors of the fortress opened wide when Baba entered. The people inside knew that a divine being had entered.
शरण मज आला आणि वाया गेला, दाखवा दाखवा ऐसा कोणी.
काशीराम शिंपी साईबाबांच्या सुरुवातीच्या 2-3 भक्तापैकी एक. यांचा खणाळ विकण्याचा व्यवसाय होता आणि घोड्यावरून खणाळ विक्री करता गावोगावी बाजारला ते जात. तर बाजार चोरट्यांनी दरोडेखोरांनी लुटला आणि त्या लुटीमध्ये काशीराम सापडला. 2 चोर काशीरामाच्या मागे लागले. त्याला घोड्यावरून खाली ओढलं. तलवारीचा वार त्यावेळेला काशीरामाच्या नाकावर लागला. भळभळ रक्त वाहू लागलं आणि काशीराम मूर्छित होऊन पडला. नव्हे, मूर्छित झाल्याचं सोंग त्यांनी केलं. आणि ही झटापट का झाली तर काशीरामाच्या जवळ जे काय होतं ते चोरट्यांनी काढून घेतलं. फक्त एक छोटी पुरचुंडी होती, ती काय काशीराम देईना. आणि ती काशीराम देत नाही म्हटल्यानंतर चोरट्यांनी झटापट केली. त्या पुरचुंडीत काय होतं तर पीठ आणि साखर. कारण काशीरामाचा नित्यनेम होता का मुंग्यांना साखर घालायची आणि ती साखर त्यांच्याबरोबर कायम कन्वर्टीला असायची. त्या पुरचुंडीसाठी झालेल्या झटापटीमध्ये काशीरामाला तलवारीचा वार लागला. मूर्छित होऊन तो पडला. आणि मग ती पुरचुंडी सोडण्याच्या नादामध्ये त्या चोरटे ते गाठोडं सोडायला लागले. त्यांच्या तलवारी त्यांनी बाजूला ठेवल्या. काशीराम बघत होता की यांच्या तलवारी खाली आहेत. हे ती पुरचुंडी सोडण्याच्या गाठोडं सोडण्याच्या नादामध्ये लागलेत. काशीराम उठला, त्यातली एक तलवार उचलली आणि 2 चोर जागीच ठार केले. हे शिर्डीपासून साधारण 10-15 किलोमीटर पलीकडे घटना घडत होती. इकडे शिर्डीमध्ये बाबा वेशीमध्ये उभे राहिले आणि बोंबाबोंब करायला लागले, आरडाओरड करायला लागले, धरा रे, वाचवा रे. गावातले लोक बाबा का ओरडतायत, तर बाबा का ओरडतायत याचं उत्तर त्यांना एक तासाभरानं मिळालं. काशीराम घोड्यावर बसून शिर्डीमध्ये आला.
Baba has appeared as himself, as a Tonga driver, as a ticket collector, a beggar, and in the form of photographs and paintings. These stories abound and take place even today in so many homes and lives of devotees. In Shirdi, Baba was known to bless with coconuts and mangoes. Many stories abound, as this is one of Baba's barkats or special powers, to bless the childless with children.
जो जो मज भजे जैशा जैशा भावे, तैसा तैसा पावे मीही त्यासी.
In 1914, Khan Sahib Abdul Karim Khan came to Shirdi for Baba's darshan and sang one of Baba's favorite Tukaram abhangs. You ask for a boon in such a way that one cannot but give it to you. Now don't make haste to leave Shirdi. Do not worry about your family. Everything will be all right, said Baba. The next day, Khan Sahib received news that his daughter was gravely ill and dying. Baba asked the family to come to Shirdi. Mixing ash from his chillam with jaggery and water, Baba gave it to her to drink. After 2 days of this treatment, Gulab Kali was on her feet. Baba's way of teaching was unique. He disliked long lectures and theorizing and spoke in parables. His words were understood only by the one for whom they were meant. He never wrote books and gave no talks. Sometimes, Baba would have his devotees go through certain life experiences which enabled them to correct their own faults.
कापड विक्री करून काशीराम ज्या वेळेला गावी परत येत असे, घरी येत असे, त्यावेळेला द्वारकामाई समोर, मशिदी समोर बाबांच्या दर्शनाला तो जात असे आणि आलेला गल्ला सगळा बाबांना अर्पण करत असे. बाबा नाही म्हणायचे, पण तो आपला द्यायचा. मग बाबा त्यातले रुपया वेगळा, 8 आणे वेगळे, 4 आणे वेगळे वगैरे असे करायचे आणि त्यातली एक चवली फक्त काढून घ्यायची. चवली म्हणजे 12 नाही पैसे. ते कशा करता तर चिलबीच्या तंबाखू करता आणि धुनीच्या लाकडा करता. बाबांनी त्याच्याकडे पैसे मागायला सुरुवात केली. 1 रुपयात, 2 रुपयात. एक संपले का दुसरे. बाबा पैसे नाही, आता उदाहरण मुसलमान घे कोणाकडनं. आणि ज्या वेळेला बायकोच्या गळ्यातलं मंगळसूत्राकडे त्याची नजर गेली, त्याच वेळेला स्ट्राईक त्याला झालं का बाबांना देणारे आपण कोण. बाबा प्रत्यक्ष भगवान आहेत. हा द्वारकेचा श्रीकृष्ण इथे द्वारकामाईत बसलेला आहे आणि त्याला देणारे आपण कोण. आपल्याला हा वृथा गर्व झालेला आहे, ही जाणीव त्याला झाली. गेला, बाबांचे पाय धरले, क्षमा मागितली. परत काशीरामाची आर्थिक परिस्थिती सुधारायला लागली.
My grandfather, Thamaji Patil Shelke, during that time when he was probably 20-25 years old, this I would say in 1885 or maybe 90s, he used to always go around with Baba. One incident, one day he was after Baba that you give me money, I don't have anything. They had 3 acres of land during that time. And Baba said, you go to your field, cultivate, you'll find 7 pots of gold in your field. So he borrowed bullocks from the other people and he did the plowing, but he didn't find anything. Next day he again went to the Baba and Baba again asked him to do like west, northwest, north, south or east, west. He did the cultivation, the entire cultivation. At the end, after 4th day, my grandfather was very upset. He went and he was like shouting on Baba. Then Baba looked up and he said, today, tomorrow, you bow seed of bajra in your field. So he went, he borrowed money from his friends, bought the bajra seed, and then he did the sowing of the bajra seed. That evening, it rained in Shirdi. Nobody had their field ready. Only my grandfather's field was ready. That was a bumper crop, and when it was ready for harvesting, he went to the Baba, asked Baba, the crop is very nice, now what should I do? Baba said, you take this entire crop to the market, sell it, and whatever you get, bring it to me in Dwarkamai. That money was exactly 7 pot full of the thing. Baba said, this is what you, आप कष्ट मेहनत करो, जो आपको मिलेगा वो, और जो मेरे से पैसा लेगा वो मेरे जैसा फकीर होगा. So तुम अपनी मेहनत से कमाओ, you'll do good. And my grandfather, when he passed away in 65, he had 300 acres of land.
Baba had asked Kashinath Upasani to sit quiet while he did the rest. The measures were extreme. Food or any other objects of physical well-being and of wealth were always taken away from him, refused or even stolen. The humiliation of begging for food drove him to fast for weeks, and eventually food repelled him, though his physical strength remained. Baba drew him against his will. He tried to escape from Baba, but after walking continuously away from Shirdi for 8 days, he could never leave the immediate surrounding area of Shirdi, as Baba had not permitted it. He became perfection personified and was the guide and guru for such perfect masters as Meher Baba. He became Upasani Maharaj. At other times, Baba would play a prank or tease a devotee to teach and inspire. One Sunday, Baba through his leelas had grains of gram fall from Govind Rao Dabolkar's sleeve. Everyone giggled, and Baba teased Dabolkar about how he doesn't share food. Indignant, he said he always shared food with those who were with him. Sai asked him why he leaves him out, who was always with him. Through Dabolkar, Baba asks us all to offer not just our food, but our actions and thoughts, emotions and reactions to Baba first. In this way, we are cleansed and our attachments and desires vanish.
तुमचा मी भार वाहिन सर्वथाय नभे अन्यथाय वचन माझे.
It was Baba's mystical and deeply symbolic act of grinding wheat that inspired Dabolkar to write the Sai Satcharitra. Dabolkar says that sometime in 1910, he went to the masjid and saw Baba grinding wheat. He was puzzled.
One day Baba took some wheat in one pot and he started grinding on a grinding stone. People were wondering, what Baba has started today. So all villagers, they were gathering in the open ground in front of Dwarka Mai. Out of that, 4 ladies, they went into Dwarka Mai inside and they asked Baba, "We'll do it for you." Baba was reluctant to do. He was rather angry, but he gave a mysterious smile and went away. And those 4 ladies, they started grinding. They must have finished about 5 kg of wheat grinding. Then they thought Baba is yati dharmi, sannyasi. He doesn't need all this wheat, etc. What he has done is, Baba is very, very kind enough. So he is going to give this wheat to us. So they started dividing it into 4 parts and started taking it to their place. At this time, Baba was very furious and Baba got very angry. And what he did, he says, Hindi mein, aapka baap ka maal hai kya? Whether it belongs to your father? Keep it there and take this wheat into a boundaries of Shirdi and spread it all over there. Now, Hemad Pant was very much present there. He was wondering, what is this? So villagers of Shirdi, they mentioned, now there is a epidemic disease of Mahamari, which is called plague in Shirdi, and few people also have died. So to eliminate that, Baba has performed this in the form of that wheat. He grinded that plague and it is thrown away on the boundaries of Shirdi so that it cannot enter into Shirdi.
All religions are paths that lead us to one God. No wonder Baba flew into a rage when the paths to the one God were thus separated. At times, Baba would embrace devotees, touching someone with his hand, comforting others, staring kindly at some, laughing with others, giving udi and prasad, pleasing and satisfying all. His touch was an experience of the divine. Narayan Asram, a devotee, noted how Baba had different ways of touching people's heads. Sometimes he barely seemed to touch. Sometimes he seemed to press out something from the head. Sometimes he made passes without touching the head. Each of these had its own peculiar effect.
जाणा येथे आहे सहाय सर्वास, मागे जे जे त्यास ते ते लाभे.
By his darshan, our thoughts are changed. The force of previous actions abate, and gradually non-attachment or dispassion towards worldly objects develops. This is what Tatya Saheb Nulkar recalled after his darshan of Baba. Even today, as crowds gather in Baba's darbars, he engages with each of his devotees in ways adapted to their own needs, spiritual and temporal.
पालखी सोहळ्याद्वारे आमचे म्हणजे पालखी समिती आणि आम्ही सगळे जे काही सामाजिक आध्यात्मिक सगळे उद्दिष्ट साधतो. यात जो आनंद आम्हाला, जी ऊर्जा आम्हाला मिळते ती वर्षभर आम्हाला ती पुरते, म्हणजे कठीण प्रसंगांना तोंड देताना. आणि बाबा हे आमचे एक मूळ सात्विक सद्गुरू अधिष्ठान आहेत असं मला मनापासून वाटतं.
आम्ही 29 वर्ष पालखीला येतो आहोत. या पालखीच्या येता आम्हाला असं लक्षात आलं की आम्हाला जे भारताचं आत्महत्याचं जे प्रमाण वाढलं आहे, जे मानसिक प्रदूषण झालं आहे, नवीन पिढी भरकटलेली आहे, याच्यासाठी उत्तम उपाय म्हणजे ही पालखी आहे. या पालखीमध्ये आल्यामुळे मला जो आध्यात्मिक आनंद आणि मानसिक शांतता जी मिळाली, समाधान मिळालं आहे, मला जीवनाचा खरा अर्थ या पालखीने शिकवला. म्हणून आम्ही पालखीला येतो आणि त्याचा आनंद मिळतो. आणि त्यामुळे माझ्यात हा आनंदाचा परिणाम ह्या माझ्या व्यक्तिमत्वावर, माझ्या कामावर पडला, माझ्या कुटुंबावर पडला, माझ्या आसपासच्या सगळ्या मित्रपरिवारावर पडला. ह्याच्यामुळं मला जी आनंद मिळाला तो फक्त साईबाबांमुळे मिळाला.
Not enough can be published and spoken about his miracles. Every day he guards and lovingly guides millions. Each devotee's experience is unique and special.
This is my 5th year coming to Palki from Pune to Shirdi. The feeling, the experience I can share is like I feel happy. It's an awesome feeling. It gives me peace of mind.
Aum Shri Sai Ram. The only message I want to say, and you must believe it because they're only true, that Lord Shirdi Sai Baba is the supreme, divine, absolute Paratma. He is divine love, infinite love, and He asks to us only one thing: surrender to Him to find the Lord and Ananda inside her. Aum Shri Sai Ram.
Baba thus lived amidst us for about 60 years in his physical form. One day, a few years prior to his samadhi, Baba pointed out the site of his resting place and told Sonuchi Ai, Nandaram Sanklecha's daughter, that he would rest here with his people. In time, he gave many other indications and made the necessary preparations as well. Through dreams and visions, he mystically made all the arrangements, including that of his final resting place. He informed many beloved devotees that he will not be seeing them again in this physical form, and performed the necessary rituals, both Islamic and Hindu, as per customs. By Baba's will and grace, Bapu Saheb Bhutti, the famous multimillionaire, and Madhav Rao Deshpande or Shama had dreams to build a wada, which became Samadhi Mandir, his final resting place.
माझा जो जाहला काया वाचा मनी, तयाचा मी ऋणी सर्व काळ.
Vijayadashami dawned. It was the 9th day of the Muslim month of Muharram, and that night was the night of slaughter. Baba did not fall down on the ground, nor did he lie down, but sitting quietly on his seat and doing charity with his own hands, he threw off the mortal coil. That is the greatness of a Sadguru. Shirdi Sai Baba multiplies himself into 1,000 million forms and voices to lovingly guide and carry us across the ocean of samsara or life. He responds as if each devotee is his only disciple.
साई म्हणे तोची तो तोची झाला धन्य, झाला जो अनन्य माझ्या पायी.
हेची दान दे गा देवा, तुझा विसरण व्हावा, तुझा विसरण व्हावा, तुझा विसरण व्हावा. गुण गाईन आवडी हेची माझी सर्व जोडी, हेची माझी सर्व जोडी, हेची माझी सर्व जोडी. नलगे मुक्ती आणि संपदा, संत संग देई सदा. तुका म्हणे गर्भवासी, सुखे घालावे आम्हासी, सुखे घालावे आम्हासी, सुखे घालावे आम्हासी. साई राम साई